Hey, guys, we are down to our last session. Laura, I see you're on the call. Would you mind putting your video on?
How's it?
Jump
Hi,
in.
Louw. How are you?
Hey, well, and yourself?
It is. I'm good, thank you. I must
Brilliant, brilliant.
apologize.
Oh,
I,
I'm
I must apologize for lack of video. So you get my voice is going to have to do.
that's perfect. Sorry, guys, Laura won't be able to put a video on today. It'll just be me that you guys are going to have a look at. Let me get the presentation on, then you guys can see her. Give me a second. Here we go. Brilliant. Okay, maybe this makes the most sense, and you guys can see Laura. Laura, welcome. It's so great to have you. I know your schedule is also like incredibly busy, so it's great to have you here with us today. Laura heads up the entrepreneur development and incubation at the Cape IT Initiative, which is part of the oldest tech incubator on the continent, and also a very inspiring place to set up. When we started our company almost 8 years ago, we set up at the Cape IT Initiative and the Bandwidth Barn out in Woodstock with our little desk spaces to get started. And so have, Laura, you can correct me, but like over 10,000 entrepreneurs, I think, by now.
Louw, you are 100% correct. Thousands and thousands of entrepreneurs. But your and Donna's story is specific because you used to have a ping pong table in your office. Am I correct? I don't know if there were any desks in your office at the time, but it is a story that we tell often at City. So you guys were really, really part of the beginning of the story.
Those are some fond memories, Lara. We had lots of time on our hands, very early days, but you guys sponsored us with 6 months of free desk space and internet, and there was a ping pong table where we got all of our best ideas from right there.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant, Louw. Thanks for having me, and thanks, Donna. It's always great to do anything with Outsource CFO.
Oh man, it's so great to be partnered with you guys, to have come full circle and to be working together on some really exciting projects for entrepreneurs all around the country at the moment. It's so good to have you.
Absolutely. Thanks, Louw.
Brilliant, guys. So the last kind of session that we have is just a short interview on everything kind of incubation related with Lara. She's been dedicating her career to helping early stage entrepreneurs do better, build great businesses in a country where I think early stage entrepreneurship is one of the absolute keys to the success of the economy and the success of the country as a whole, and all of the social fabric of it. So such important work. Lara, would you mind just sharing a little bit about just the work that you guys do specifically and your role within that?
So as City, my role is head of entrepreneur development and incubation. So what I'm looking to do and what we're always looking to achieve within our department is to move entrepreneurs to the next growth checkpoints in their journeys. And maybe as this is a Women's Day event, maybe just to share with you one of our flagship programs, which is called our Women in Business program. And it's a tech enablement program for women who've been in business for a minimum of 6 months. And this program really serves to enable women to compete in the digital economy by equipping them with the most up-to-date technology tools. And what was very interesting is what started out as a tech enablement program for women entrepreneurs has morphed and evolved and grown into an ecosystem of female entrepreneurs supporting each other, guiding each other, and helping each other through the journey of entrepreneurship. Sure. And that was really something that came about as a result of the activities of the program, and it was as a result of the needs of the women in the program. So, you start out to run a tech enablement program, and a few years later, you've got an ecosystem of over 2,000 women who've graduated and who are supporting and helping each other, which I think is the magic of entrepreneurship. All the things that happen that weren't necessarily planned, but are really positive and positively impact the lives of the entrepreneurs that you work with.
That's amazing, Laura. Yeah, I think just it's that consistency that Yvonne spoke of now, right? Just doing something consistently over time just creates traction if you do it right and focus on the right elements.
Absolutely. And the lady that spoke before Yvonne, I think it was Sitembele, she spoke about cheerleaders. Yes. And we've almost created a whole group of cheerleaders of women who really are cheering each other on and looking to support each other rather than compete, which is amazing.
That's amazing, Laura. How many applications are you guys getting currently for that female founders program of yours?
So for the top tech tools for women in business, Louw, I've currently got 2,000 applications in process.
2,000 applications.
Yeah, in
That
process.
is unbelievable. Sure. It must be the most successful of its kind then in existence on the continent, right?
You know what, Louw, we're just doing the best that we can to
Sure.
empower our female entrepreneurs in the best way possible that we feel is the best way possible. And I believe that there are other great programs out there, but we strive to make our program a flagship program and to give these women all the things that we feel would enable to move them forward.
Sure.
And Louw, I see the second question that you'd asked me, which kind of ties in, is what are the lessons learned from running these programs? And so much of what the previous speakers said resonated with me. But there are just a couple of things that I've learned. Some lessons were harder than others. So just the first thing was that the entrepreneurial journey is definitely not linear. And although it may resemble the journeys of others, it's not the same. And I used to have a picture in my Joburg office of this massive, complicated, nauseating looking roller coaster. And it was in my Joburg office. And I used to walk in. I actually didn't used to walk in. I used to climb. We decided we wanted to think differently as young entrepreneurs. So we actually used to enter our Joburg office through the window. It was quite bizarre. In heels. We've actually landed in some magazines once. Somebody took some pictures. But you come into the office, and I used to look at this roller coaster, and I used to think, well, where am I today on this roller coaster? Because yesterday I thought I was on the up. Yesterday things look good. But today I seem to be turning the corner and not going in the desired, direction. The following week you're upside down. So the entrepreneurial journey is not linear, and I don't think any two journeys are the same. But what I do know for sure is that success leaves clues, and so do failures. So when, as an entrepreneur, you've done something really great, share the clues of that greatness with somebody else. As in the amazing session before me, three great tips that worked for a successful entrepreneur and were able to drive her forward. Success leaves clues. Look at the success of others, see what they've done and how they've achieved it. Connect in with others, ask them. There are a couple of entrepreneurs that work in my space, and we're in effect competitors with one another. But there've often been times where I've picked up the phone and asked, how did you do that? Because it didn't make sense to me. And we've shared information and shared knowledge with one another, which I think is so important. And another factor on our program, as important as it is, to teach people or to become an expert in the hard skills that you're required to do your job really well, I also think it's really, really important, and I dare to say even as important or even more important, to become really good at the human skills. So I like the term human skills. I'm not a fan of soft skills. Simon Sinek coined human skills, and I really like that term. And it's the balance between the hard skills and the human skills where I think the magic lies for entrepreneurs. So if we want to be better leaders, if we want to be better listeners, if we want to be more empathic, I think the secret sauce is balancing those two, and I think also being able to be comfortable in being uncomfortable and out of balance, within the entrepreneurial journey. A couple of years ago, I was asked by a magazine to write an article about how important it is to be a balanced entrepreneur and 10 tips on how to be a balanced entrepreneur. Well, I definitely don't think they got the article that they were hoping for, because I think balanced entrepreneur is as much of an oxymoron as virgin active, small crowd, exact estimate. I think balanced entrepreneur fits completely in with those oxymorons, because I think as an entrepreneur, you're really great at different aspects of your business and perhaps different aspects of your personal life at different times. There may be a particular time where your business needs absolute laser focus, and you have a period where you are laser focused on your business, but perhaps other parts of your life do not receive the attention that they would usually require from you, or that you feel that they deserve. And I think it's to be able to be comfortable in this out of balance feeling, and knowing that some periods are more balanced than others, but it's not continually balanced. Well, it hasn't been for me as an entrepreneur and as a mom. It has never been completely balanced, across all spheres for me.
Makes me think of a quote from a big business coach that once said, you can have it all, but you can't have it all at once. which I thought
Yeah.
that's so true, right? I think entrepreneurs start out very ambitious and very optimistic, which is great. You absolutely need that, but it does take 10 or 15 years or something of the sort to get to a point where maybe someone like Yvonne is right now. And it can easily take 10 or 15 years and you can still not be there depending on how things go. It's a complicated journey, like you mentioned. I love that roller coaster analogy you used.
And I don't know if Yvonne's still on the call, but Yvonne has all these years of experience where things were not going as they should for her. And she took those lessons and figured out how to shift and change that into the life that she has today that operates in a way that works for her and her family.
For sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I just want to get back to you, the success leaves clues that you mentioned. If you were to think of from these like thousands of entrepreneurs of like one female founder that's a standout success, like is there one story you'd be able to share with us just in terms of a big success female founder that have come through the ranks with you guys?
So Louw, there are many. And in thinking about answering this question, I wanted to think what was the common thread between these successful women that have come through. What have they done that perhaps other women haven't done? And the first thing is they've stayed in the game. They stayed in the game when it was hard. They stayed in the game when it was unattractive. They stayed in the game when they weren't sure if they were going to make it, but they stayed in the game. The other thing that they did that I thought was really great was they surrounded themselves with successful people. They had great mentors, be they financial mentors, business mentors, coaches, whatever they needed in order to move them forward successfully. They surrounded themselves with the right people, and they were not scared to ask for advice. You know, someone once said to me that they found entrepreneurship to be quite a lonely road. And one of my absolute key focus areas in building the programs that we do at City is that we don't want any entrepreneur to feel lonely. And when you feel supported and guided and that you have the right people to go to for the right bits of information, I feel that can make the journey a lot easier and a lot more comfortable. I mean, it's a bumpy ride, we know, but definitely a lot more comfortable as you go along. So these successful women have really, really surrounded themselves by an unbelievable team of mentors, you know, either formal or informal.
Brilliant. No, I love that, Lara. I think mentorship and finding coaches and mentors is such a big deal. We were discussing it this week at the company meeting at Outsource CFO as well, how important having a mentor is. And it makes me think of that, you know, kind of 8 years ago, we sat in some of those classes with a sales mentor and a marketing mentor and a networking mentor, and a pitching mentor to learn from all these people, you know, kind of like coming out of an accounting and auditing profession. There's quite a lot of skills you need to learn, regardless of your background. When you start a company, you need to learn a whole lot of things you've never dealt with before. So having people who've like really specialized in it and who've walked the walk on something like, for instance, a specialized skill like legal or marketing or finance or something of the sort is so valuable, and it saves you so many years of making mistakes, right?
Absolutely. And I mean, it's one of our partnerships with Outsource CFO. We found that businesses, exactly what you said, Louw, they need different mentors at different times in the entrepreneurial journey and for different things. You know, a financial mentor gives you specific financial tools for your business, whereas a marketing mentor would give you something completely different.
Sure.
And if you're able to build a team of mentors and people to support you who've got expertise in various areas, you're almost creating a board of directors for yourself. And there shouldn't be a time where you wouldn't have somebody to call or to ask for advice or for guidance. And I feel that that's incredibly important. And I mean, I know that you and Donna feel the same way, because it's a project that we're working on together to ensure that the businesses that come through City and come through our City programs that need specific finance mentors, we want to give them the best of the best. And in our partnership with Outsource CFO, we know that we're doing that.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you, Lara. Thank you for sharing that. Really appreciate it. And yeah, we're so excited to be working with you guys on just helping all of these emerging entrepreneurs get the head start that we got all those years ago.
No, absolutely. And it's of paramount importance. So just to keep an eye on exciting things from City, our partnership with Outsource CFO, we've just recently hired a great new head for our biotech cluster. We have an edtech cluster. We've got our digital skills campus, and we're always looking to build new products and create new services that fit the demand of the client. So we're always looking to see what are the gaps and how can we better empower and equip our entrepreneurs. I mean, of course, as you know, I have a passion for women entrepreneurs, but we don't only serve women entrepreneurs. We serve entrepreneurs across the board, from ideation phase businesses to build and grow and grow and scale businesses as well.
Lara, thank you so much for sharing some of the parts of this journey of yours, and just kind of some of the inspiring things you guys are busy with. So it's so cool to hear how you're plowing into the entrepreneurial ecosystem. Maybe just one last ask, if you don't mind, as kind of like a wrap up for our female founders conference today. Just kind of like, if you had like one message to female entrepreneurs or professionals out there doing their thing, what would your message be today?
I think it would be exactly what I just said. Make sure that you are surrounded by the right team. Make sure that you have all the support that you need to empower you on your journey. You'll never be sorry.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Lara, that's gorgeous. I really love that, and really appreciate you being here with us today. It's been a blast having you.
Thanks for inviting me. Thank you all.
Perfect. We'll speak very soon.
Thanks, Louw. Take care. Bye.
You too. Bye-bye. Okay, everyone, that's a wrap. That's a wrap. Thank you very much for everyone who's been here with us. It's been great to have a good crowd of people with us today, founders and professionals and people from different walks of life. I think there have been some amazing golden nuggets, and there are definitely a few keynotes here that have to be sent to TED or be converted into a book for sure. Thank you for your time and your focus and your presence today here.
Hey, Louw here, one of the founders of Outsource CFO. If you enjoyed this video, make it official. Click subscribe.